jogging up and down the touchline, got to the corner flag, got to the cop, everybody's going nuts. Yeah. I'm like, wow, this is mental. Even now, talking about it, look at that.
Goosebumps. Passionate out there.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Third podcast. And it's taken a little bit while to get guests underway. A little bit of mixture of everything. The coronavirus, the pandemic, me trying to get an haircut, bad organisation, and trying to get Johnny Kebab out of the kebab shops. But we are back, and I'm excited. We wanted to get this guest on, his first guest for a long time, and pleased to announce onto today's pod. We still don't have a name, by the way. It's Jermaine. What shirt am I wearing, bruv? Beckford. Jermaine, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Listen, we've got a bit of a fact file here. Jermaine, Paul Alexander Beckford.
I don't like the fact that he just pulled out his back pocket.
December
9th of December 1983.
Yep.
Training at Chelsea. Played at Wealdstone, Uxbridge, Leeds, Carlisle, Scunthorpe, Everton, Leicester, Huddersfield, Bolton, Preston and Bury. Over 191 career goals. And many good memories to talk about. But listen, that's for other pods. That's for the serious pods like the LS11 pods. We're not about that. We don't do fact files, so we can fuck that off. And let's get talking.
Guys, thank you very much for having me first and foremost. Also, I'd just like to say, little bit disappointed I'm not number one, but episode 3 is good enough. Still below 10.
The first two were just a bit of an introduction.
We needed to break ourselves into it first to make sure we've got to be all correct, you say, on here. We like to do things proper. So they were just, so in effect, it is number one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's first guest, so you are.
First guest.
Number one, the guest.
Thank you
we
very
might earn
much,
a few
guys.
quid off this one, might we?
How are you? How's things in lockdown been in the last 12 weeks?
I'll be honest with you, it's been better than I thought it would be. I am now a qualified gardener, painter decorator, babysitter, teacher, housekeeper, and all round just
Say a bit decorating.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I've got a bit of chip that nobody will take off, bit of chip.
Right.
What do you call it?
Chipboard.
Chipwood. Wallpaper.
Okay. Still in the
struggling.
Yeah.
No, it's a bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could help you. I got people that I could call.
40 quid a day.
Yeah, they'll come in and say no.
No. I've left that on purpose as it goes. Bit of nostalgia in house. Just as you know, she's done house up. Due to me dental implants being cancelled, she's decided to spend money on the house. So, thought we all done it. I know my chances of getting on Love Island and all. I'm supposed to be on Love Island. Straight out the window that.
I'm too happy. No. Smoked since about 10-year-old. Right. Nash's out in the best condition.
Yeah.
And he started to struggle to eat a steak. There was a stage where he had to fucking suck his steak when he's eating it. Right?
God, this pasty lasts me 2 days.
So he said, I want to get my teeth done. Right, I've been speaking to this dentist. He says I can have all them pearly whites. But I said, listen, it's not going to work. I've worked in the dental industry for a fair few years. I went, you smoke too much. No, he's promised me he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
He's mate. 20
bags, I'm there, sparkling. And after a few consultations, I give him...
it's not going to work for you, mate.
He's mate, what? I goes first time. Not a problem. Sat there. Not a problem. I went, you can do all that. He went, yeah, don't worry about it. No problem.
Yeah.
Get a few scans. So he does a few scans. This is a final consultation with implantologist. He goes out, looks at scans, he comes back and he said, it was like somebody had died when he come back in. He went, looked at me and he went, can't have it. I went, can't have what? He said, you can't have it. He says, I'm not willing to take risk. I said, that fellow in Turkey, what? 3 grand. I said, you're giving 20. No, can't do it. Can't do it. He said, your sinuses are too worth thinking, you smoke and all that. Bit of diabetes thrown in. You know what I mean? Can't do it. So I goes home, devoed. But I've kind of put a few quid to one side for all this.
Yeah.
It went from 20 up to 30, by the way.
Yeah.
So he went having me with your mate. Then, final thing, letter comes, can't have it, can't be done. But we can do with some dentures. So it went from 30 grand down to about 400 quid. She still sees hot money at Zar. Comes home one day, there's a fellow with a tape measure. I said, what's he doing? She said, oh, he's measuring for conservatory. I thought, fuck me. She said, it'll be lovely at Christmas. I said, it's all right. Lovely at Christmas, I can't eat my dinner. No fireplace. So,
Get
that was that.
Get it in a blender.
That was that Christmas dinner. Christmas dinner in multi-chef. You know what I mean? Okay, no. Anyway.
Sick.
Anyway,
Welcome to the
so,
show,
I said,
Jermaine.
You won't get away.
but listen, thing is I said to him, is there anything at all you can do for me? This is regarding what I said, my teeth, is there all you can do for me? He bought me a yellow shirt. Okay, no. So,
That's got the same colour at Nash's.
yeah.
Look like the sun.
Yeah, sweet Conway's got. Anyway, let's talk about Jermaine.
Let's talk about
Instead of
Jermaine.
taking piss out of me, we sparkling teeth, pair of you. Yeah.
Oh, so Jermaine, born in London, raised in London?
Raised in London,
Raised in London.
up until the age of 22 years old.
Went to school on
Football,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Went to school.
Finished school?
Finished school? Of course I finished school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Academic?
There's a lot up there, mate.
GCSEs?
There's a lot up there. GCSEs,
How'd you do?
B's, C's, D's.
Well, not bad, not
Not
bad.
terrible.
Yeah.
Room for improvement. Slacked on the homework a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, as you do,
Yeah,
when you live in
but-
London.
I knew that I've got what it takes, and I've got knowledge, general
Yeah.
knowledge. I've got sense.
Common sense.
Yeah. I didn't need to worry about the homework side of things because in my mind I was completely focused solely on football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From I was able to walk. My dad initially thought I was going to be a goalkeeper because all I'd done, every time he kicked the ball to me, bend down, pick it up, and then try to give it back to him. Give me a clip around the ear, put it down, kick it in the goal. So I did that, and he gave me 10p. I was like, sweet. So every time I kick it from here to there, he gives me 10p. Did it again, another 10p.
Winning mentality.
Mentality. So it's the goal scoring mentality, and to a point, it's selfish as well
Yeah.
because I know I'm going to get an instant return from me doing this one act.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the journey began.
So what age did you start your first football team?
That was young. Maybe I must have been about 5 or 6. A town in my local area called Greenford Town.
Yeah.
So it was on a football pitch no bigger than this gym. And I just remember having, the goals were about so high. And my first ever goal, I remember it like it was yesterday. The goalkeeper had the ball in the opposite team. He threw the ball out to his friend, and instead of trying to kick the ball to one of his other pals, he kicked it to me. And my dad, I just heard him saying, shoot! Kick it as hard as you can!
10 pence.
I'm seeing money signs. That's all I'm seeing. I'm like, oh, I tell you what.
It's going to be worth the quiz there, hasn't it?
And exactly. So the ball came to me. I heard him say, scream out, shoot. So I just whacked it. Lobbed this poor little kid. Went in the back of the net. Started running off as the aeroplanes and sliding on the knees and all that. And then looked over at my dad and he was like, yeah, well done. And I seen him reach in his pocket. I'm like, oh, jackpot. Yeah,
Quick.
50p.
Oh,
50p, are you joking me? For that? That's unbelievable. What a finish. The poor kid was crying as well. Ruined his day, made my day. 50p, that's all it's worth.
What other kid?
Bloody hell. Well, that's not bad though, isn't it?
It's not bad at all. So I ended up, after the game had finished, having a talk with my dad in the car on the way home, and I just remember him saying something along the lines of, look, that was amazing. You keep on doing that. You keep enjoying yourself, and you can go places. Because I was quick. I was always much quicker than the next nearest kid. So he just said to me, look, we'll just try and figure out how we can make you play better without having to worry about getting kicked, because I used to hate it.
Yeah.
So it just got to a point where every time I picked the ball up, from 6 up until maybe 9 or 10 years old, every time I got the ball, I just kicked the ball one way and ran the other way. And because I was that quick, I could get the ball before anybody else. Do that, score a goal, 50p, 75p,
It adds up, doesn't it?
£2,
You play 3
£5.
times a week.
Mate, I tell you what, when it got to those notes though,
Oh, get it.
my dad said to me exactly the same. You score a hat-trick, it was a £5 a goal. You score a hat-trick, I'll give you 20 quid. Shouldn't have said that, mate.
Yeah.
So you
Shouldn't
don't.
have said that, mate.
don't like
I
that.
got 6, mate. I got 6 the next game.
Shut up.
He was fuming.
He'll be giving me an invoice. Like.
By the way, every time I hit him in the face, that's another.
I tell you what,
So your dad was a big influence in you,
It was a massive influence.
leading up to you becoming
Yeah,
a professional footballer.
Yeah. he obviously critiqued me as well, which you obviously need to be able to understand where you can improve and where you can get better and the things that you are doing well. Don't be content with doing the things that you're good at, leaving them at that level. See if you can improve them, see if you can push yourself to the next level. And fortunately, I was able to, I want to say perfect. I wouldn't say perfect. I would say get to a point where I was impressed and happy and content with, more than content with the way I was able to finish. So scoring goals has always been easy for me because it's something that I really, really worked on when I was young.
Yeah.
Would you say, would it a fact of you being driven in wanting to perfect yourself, or would it as a case of a little bit off your dad as well?
A lot from my dad.
Right,
a lot from my dad as well, because he used to love playing football as well. He had a couple of trials with Crystal Palace. I think he ended up getting a really bad injury, which obviously stopped him from playing. And when you got injured back in the day as well, it's the rehab and recovery is not like what it is now, and the operations, etc. So it kind of put a stop to what he wanted to do and how he wanted to live his life and the direction he wanted to go down. But he helped me. He didn't push me. He didn't force me into anything. But he helped me to understand that the things that you really want are not easy. But you've got the capability to make it happen. You've got everything that you need to make it a possibility.
Positive influence. When you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. When shit hit the fan, mate, that car journey home.
That is critical. Him criticising you, was it Ash's criticism a little bit harsh, or was, just say it how it is?
It's always going to be
and
harsh.
And how did you take that?
It's always going to be harsh when you're like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, you think it's a personal attack, but it's not. So I cried.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you really know how to do when somebody's saying, that wasn't good enough, maybe next time you should try this. Because he's frustrated, he knows how good I am at certain things. And when I didn't do them, he would say to me, why didn't you do this? You should have done that. Get this done next time. It's not fair, just leave me alone.
See how lucky you are. You don't know how lucky. You don't know his bomb, this one.
No, I know exactly what you're coming from, and it's only when you get older you realise that it was for your own good.
Yeah, you appreciate it more.
I mean, I used to be at car home and I'd be thinking, I'm fucking dreading this car journey home. And only if it were a mile or two away from the gym, I'm already going home with a black eye or a bust lip or a fat nose.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, he's going to say,
why didn't you
have your right hand up? Yeah. That's why you caught every single time with that shot. But more than anything, after that, I'd go upstairs, I'd be in my bedroom and I'd be practicing because I want to be better for the next day.
5 minutes a day.
Just want to improve myself, improve it to him, and prove to him that I could do it a lot better.
Exactly as you just said there. It's not like you go to your room and then you practice for 6-7 hours back to back until bedtime.
No.
You go back and it's literally just 5 minutes. Like, I used to bounce the ball off the wall without it hitting the floor. Smashed a couple of windows along the way, which was the parents weren't happy with. But at the same time, it's part of the process. It's part of the learning process. And you're not going to improve without making a few mistakes along the way and then learning from those mistakes. You have to learn though. You have to understand what the next step is.
Yeah, no, it's right, isn't it?
No, most definitely. And I think we've got to a stage where we are. I mean, I don't want to make this all about us. I mean, it is our podcast.
No, I'm quite happy doing that.
But I think.
So, Josh, how did you get into that?
Well, thanks for having me, Jermaine. But I think we're still learning. We never stop learning. I think that's always been our drive, trying to better ourselves and push people. We're not the most talented. But some there, but not the most naturally gifted.
Yeah.
Like, so we see some kids where they're walking at gym, they don't have to train.
You never hit a bag before, but you can see that they've got it.
They've got time and punch power.
Yeah.
Would you say that you had natural talent? I mean, you said you had speed, but
I had a lot of natural talent, but there's a lot of things that, as you mentioned, you still continue working on right the way through your career. Like, I was fortunate enough to play for 14 years. That's ridiculous in terms of professional football. But I think part of that was I was willing to learn and practice constantly every single day, every single week, every single month of every single year, And I used to love watching a lot of old strikers, Ian Wright. I used to love watching Gabriel Batistuta over in Italy for Fiorentina. I used to love watching Romario when he was playing for Barcelona, Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo. And I liked not basing my game on any one of these individuals, but I like to pick little things that they're amazing at,
Attributes.
and then just practice, and then see if I can add that to the repertoire of skills that I've managed to build up over my career, on top of my natural talent. There were a lot of parts of my game that, to this day, I'm still not happy with, but the good ones, the positive ones, far outweigh those ones, and I was able to, let's say, get away with a lot of mistakes because of my speed, because of my finishing ability, my positioning, I guess, you know. So, as you mentioned, touch, sometimes I didn't want to run into the channels because I'm not going to score a goal from out there. I'm a goal scorer, you know, that's where I'm happy. Put me in the 18-yard box, and I can guarantee you I'm going to light that fucking thing up. But if I'm out wide, I don't want to be crossing the ball. I don't.
No, I know what you mean.
To an extent, I'm selfish, but I'm only selfish for the benefit of the team as well.
So how many professional clubs altogether? You went through a right list there. How many were it in total?
Hard over there.
We didn't need that anymore.
It was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a few.
But
There's a few.
considering all those clubs, you're going to be remembered. One thing turned you into a legend, really, didn't it?
At Leeds.
And you can guarantee that, you know, that's going to be one of them things that goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it failing when you scored that one goal, because people still watch it.
It was
you know,
incredible.
People sit there with a phone. They might be on a car journey, they might be on bus.
You got cameras on me or something?
No, they don't. People do, I get it all the time.
Yeah.
No, but they do, don't they? You sit there watching football. I mean, you went through that list of strikers there.
Yeah.
I remember like the Marco van Basten from overseas.
Yeah,
And
I wasn't sure how long I'd have to reel off my list, man.
Marco Tardelli, one of my favourite Italian.
Unbelievable.
And then back home, like Sir Luther Blissett.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then Ian Wright,
Yeah.
Mark Bright even,
Yeah.
you know, people like that. Oh, I thought Ian Wright, very, very similar to yourself. I think that.
Well, do you know what? That's the funny thing. Our paths were very similar in the fact that we both got into the professional football game early 20s, like 21, 22. I was 22. I think he was 21. And we had it hard, like trying to get there and then staying there. That's the hardest thing. Like getting there is one thing, and that was a dream come true for me. That was something that I never imagined would happen. Happened when I signed my first ever professional contract for Leeds at Thorpe Arch. But then getting there is one thing. Staying there and then being respected for what you do, your craft and how well you do it, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. Nobody really prepares you for that. And that's the part that I initially I don't think I was ready for. I don't think I was ready for how big a step I was just about to take the first week I signed for Leeds.
What do you mean mentally?
Mentally, physically, emotionally, because like I've been on holiday, I've been out of London before, but not to live outside of London, and that was my first taste of life on a regular basis, living outside of London, moving from London to Leeds. I picked a pretty good spot, Headingley. Not a bad place to start off. So,
especially in the September months when they're freshmen.
22 years old.
Freshers.
Freshers week and all that.
Males outnumbered 4-1. I wonder why I went to any.
How do you know that statistics?
I wouldn't know anything about that, lads.
I tell you what, this seems to be flowing pretty well. We're not years. I thought you jumped the gun then going into thingy, but that is one thing I wanted to ask, because you didn't. I don't know, I'm not too sure about that. I didn't do too much research, but I mean, no offence, Jermaine. But
no, that's fine. That makes me feel really wanted and appreciated.
You didn't come up from the, like, am I right in saying you didn't come up through the academies? Or
no, I didn't.
And you played from the right lower league, and I think that's one thing we can relate to. Different sports.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We come through the hard way. I mean, in terms of boxing, you have boxers who represented Great Britain.
Yeah.
They turn pro, they've got sponsors coming out their arseholes.
Left, right and centre.
They're destined for big things, and already they're fighting on Sky Sports, BT, whatever.
Yeah.
Us, you know, Johnny were doing all hours in taxi, coming to the gym, I working 9 to 5 as a dental technician.
Yeah.
And never did I think get to the heights that we are now. Probably the same as well.
But in that same respect, you learn to appreciate it a lot more because you know exactly what it's taken to get to that step. Like when I was 15...
Well, that's what I was going to say. At what stage when did you think, or did you ever think you were going to get to that level? And where did you place yourself around being 18? Did you think you were going to get to a professional level? Or just see how we go on?
When I was 15, I was at the Chelsea Academy.
Yeah.
and I got an Achilles injury, and they released me. I was there for 8-9 months, give or take. They released me, and that was 15 to 16 years old. From 16 up until 22, I was playing non-league football, semi-pro for the whole time. Football never left me. I worked in restaurants, McDonald's. I worked in warehouses, packing boxes. I worked in literally any and everywhere. I finished off working at RAC, fixing windscreens and doing all that sort of stuff. Had my own van, bright orange Ford Transit Connect.
Did you?
Loved it.
I can relate. I had, yeah.
They're great. They're great little trucks.
Community service don't count in this list of jobs.
Yeah, of course it does. But like I was working 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 7. I was on call. I was doing 16-hour shifts, and then I was going to football training, and then I was going home to sleep for 6 hours, and then I was getting straight up and I was doing another 13-hour shift, and then I was going to play a match. Then I got the call from my football manager at the time at Wildstone. He said to me, it was Gordon Bartlett, a guy called Gordon Bartlett. He used to play when he was younger. He had an agent, and he said, look, you know, you've been doing really well. There's a couple of agents sniffing around you, a couple of clubs. Do you mind if I put you in contact with my guy? And then, you know, it takes the pressure out of your hands, puts it on somebody else, and then he'll come to you with the best options that whatever he thinks are the best options for you. I said, yeah, cool, no worries. And then you vaguely know this. And then I got a call from Yeovil Town saying, look, we want to sign you. Like, come over. I'm like, yeah, sweet. This is it. Dream realised. Professional football. Gone from gone from Chelsea, released, RAC to Yeovil. And I'm like, sweet. Took out the map, old A4 piece of paper, old school. Marked the route, started heading down, got a phone call from the agent as well. Again, saying, look, we've got another club, Crystal Palace, want to take you on trial. Crystal Palace, Yeovil, no disrespect to Yeovil. You know?
They don't start funny down there though, don't they?
Wouldn't know.
Straight back there.
Is that where
We
you're
love our
from?
Yeovil fans. We love our Yeovil fans.
Yeah. So I went to Palace on trial, had fun, did well. Went to Watford on trial, had fun, did well. Charlton. And then, Watford was the last one. And then AD Buford loved it. He offered me a contract. I was going to sign it there and then, but then got another phone call. As I phoned my agent to say, AD Buford said, you know, he's offering me a contract, a very good contract. I need you here to oversee it, make sure it's kosher, make sure everything's straight and legit. He said, yeah, no problem, I'm on my way. But, you know, obviously, you know, Leeds are interested. I was like, Leeds, which one? Not like Leeds, United Leeds, like the proper Leeds. He was like, yeah. I was like, shit, how do I get out of this one? Because AD Buford, he's quite forthcoming. He's not shy, is he? He's a lovely guy.
Nice guy,
but if you cross him, you know, he's not one of those people that will accept it or take it lightly. So I found a way to excuse myself, hit the M1, and ended up at Thorpe Arch. And
that was it,
mate. That was it. Yeah,
that was
it's incredible.
In how long a time period?
From the first phone call at Yeovil to signing for Leeds, it's about 2.5 weeks. Right. 2.5 weeks. So the first week I was on trial at Crystal Palace. Played 2 reserve games for him. Scored in each of the games. Did enough, in my opinion, but it wasn't enough. They didn't see enough. They said they'll keep an eye on me, which, you know, you tend to find a lot of, because you don't go through the normal channels, you know, the academies and all that sort of stuff.
And everything else,
You know, you're not really looked at the same sort of way. So, listen, I appreciated it. I accepted it. Alan Kerbishley was the gaffer at the time. Shook his hand, said thank you, etc., etc. I moved on. The second week, I was on trial at Charlton. Got injured after about 2 days. Just a little injury. Just rocked my ankle. Light work.
So small.
Yeah. It's all right. Just strap it up. Get on with it. And then the back end of that week, got the phone call from Watford, and then Watford said, "Look, come in on Monday. Give your ankle a couple of days to heal, whatnot, and we'll see what you got." Went in on Monday. Done well. AD Buford offered me a contract. On Tuesday, I signed for Leeds.
It's quick.
Yeah.
That's a
Shocked,
roller coaster,
isn't it?
It's a
isn't it?
roller coaster, yeah.
It's a
completely.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
I should imagine you'd been getting paid from Whalestone, and then
What? I had to pay. Are you having me on?
Is that not
I
right?
don't think you understand my story.
I had to give them a tenner. Tenner again.
Just please let me pay.
Subs each week.
Nah, I was getting maybe 10 quid a game,
Right.
and then a couple of quid a goal.
And all of a
You know.
sudden, you're looking at big contracts. Is that when you just went, right, lads?
Honestly, I spent it before I got it.
I'm
I spent it before I got it.
Did anything
It was
prepare you
mental.
for that first run out at Ellen Road when he came out of tunnel?
No, nothing. Nothing
Did it
prepared me for
like-
that. So it was, I played for Wildstone on the Saturday. I can't remember who it was against. And then went on trial for Watford on Monday and then signed on Tuesday against Crystal Palace at Ellen Road in front of 34,500 people.
Yeah.
So on the Saturday, there were maybe 200 people, give or take, maybe
Yeah.
not even that many.
And then you've got 35.
From that to 34,500. And I'm on the touchline, big baggy Leeds United shirt on, number 32 on the back, my first ever one, still got it at home. And I was just standing on the touchline. And then I saw my number come up on the board. And I'm thinking to myself,
So you
wow,
weren't
this
prepared
is-
for that? They never said you're going to be going, aren't you?
No.
No?
I was
Oh,
happy
we're
to be on
just
the
there on-
bench.
there on
I was happy to be in the squad,
There you
mate.
go.
I'm there now, that's it. I made it. I'm sitting there, I was thinking, this is great. Wow. Jermaine, go and warm up. I was like,
windscreens to the building.
exactly. Jermaine, go and warm up, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, no worries, yeah, mate. This is brilliant. Fans going, yeah, come on, Bex, lad. And I'm like, oh, that's me, yeah. Jogging up and down the touchline. Got to the corner flag. Got to the cop. Everybody's going nuts. I'm like, wow, this is mental. Like, even now, talking about it, look at that, goosebumps.
Passionate out there.
Yeah.
Out there.
But then, like, Gaffer called me back. And I'm standing on the touchline, I just remember it, standing on the touchline. And he's talking to me, and I can't hear anything. He's giving me instructions, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
He's showing me what to do and where to go. I can't see anything. And I'm thinking,
Blinking at you.
mate, I couldn't even begin to imagine what he must have been thinking. He must have been thinking, this guy's a bloody idiot. He can't hear, he can't see, he's an idiot.
Were that nerves or
What?
was it excitement?
It was a
what-
massive
hang on, what
combination of
Gaffer
both.
at the time?
Who brought you in?
Ah, this will be a good test.
Oh, what-
2006, who was it?
Yeah, Wise and Poyet.
I
Nope.
don't know.
Oh, it
Before
was,
that, we got to the playoff final at Cardiff.
Kevin Blackwell.
There you are.
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
Blackwell, goalie, wasn't
Him and Sam Ellis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guys. Good guys.
I'm fucking. You got me there. I was lost. I'm seeing you there.
he?
Fucking
We've had a
trying
few
to-
managers since.
jogging up there.
Just one or two, mate.
I've had my name down.
I've had
my
about
name
8.
down. I got beat by David Ockerday.
Oh,
Picked me
it must
to-
have been a close call.
It was a close call. And it was either Leeds or Bennett I were going to, but anyway.
Well, I say it's a crazy transition,
So
and
I'm-
it's happened very quick, hasn't it?
Oh,
But,
ridiculous.
like mentally, obviously,
I
you
wasn't ready.
understand
I wasn't ready.
Playing for Leeds, all of a sudden you're out in city centre going to buy a pair of trainers. People like it's Beckford and stuff like that.
Mate, honestly. So after that Palace game, that was on the Tuesday night. On the Wednesday, I'm still getting used to my new surroundings. Like
Yeah.
I don't know Leeds
In
City
Edinburgh.
Centre at all. So like, I'm walking around. I'm like, right, where can I get a haircut? I spoke to some random geezer in City Centre. He said, go to Chapeltown, get a haircut. I was like, all right, yeah, cool. How do I get there?
No, like
How do I get there?
there's
What's
no like
the
being
postcode?
stereotyped.
I didn't say what race.
There's no like being stereotyped, is there?
No,
You know what I mean?
exactly. So I said, all right, what's the postcode or what's the name of the place? He was like, yeah, gave it to me, popped it in the sat nav, drove there. As I'm driving through, I'm looking around, I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah.
I don't see any NCP car parks around here.
I don't fancy leaving- I don't fancy leaving my motor there.
So I pulled up and walked in, sat down. I sat down, like there were 4 barbers in there at the time. Place called Unique Touch.
I know that.
Yeah. So like, there's Leroy, there's Cabba, there's all these guys in there that I know now personally, but I didn't know at the time.
know at the
So
time.
like, I sat down on the waiting area, just waiting for one of them, and he's cutting some geezer's hair, and he went, yeah, give me 1 minute. Get up.
Get out.
Come on, sit down. The geezer's got half his hair cut off, and he's like, mate, I'm not getting. Oh no way, it's him. He's like, yo, just went nuts. The whole barbershop went crazy, and then from that moment, it's a similar sort of. it was familiar to me because
Yeah.
my barbershop in London is in a very similar area
area.
to that. So to be accepted straight away and respected, everyone's taking the piss and whatnot. But they was accepting me taking the piss out of them as well. Like, you lot know me, you know I can take the piss. I'll take it, I give it. It's what it is. Yeah. Sometimes you're not sure if you can give it to certain people. I just did it and see what happened. And,
Just don't do it.
Yeah. So that was my first taste of Leeds. Yeah.
And
I like that. I love that.
the only place I never had any trouble as a cab driver, Chapeltown.
Chapeltown, yeah.
Never.
It's got a mental reputation.
Honestly. Well, it has,
Rightly
but
so for some
it
things.
did have,
but
but I tell you what, have you seen it lately? See it now? Absolutely. Different place.
yeah.
Different place. Even in back streets, all down there.
Much
it's not
nicer.
like it used to be.
No, it's not.
Absolutely bang
Yeah,
on. Only place I never had any trouble as a cab driver. You know when I got held up as a cab driver?
Where?
Garforth.
No way.
Yeah, Garforth.
And that's where you bought me, yeah.
But no, seriously, it's not as nice as
really?
area, it's a bit posh. Yeah, took me at Garden Centre. Yeah. Took me at Garden Centre, 4 of them.
What?
Going to Sherburn in Element,
Right.
and they robbed me, car park. So I finished up with 2 phones, a wallet, 6. I said, you've never done this before, have you?
Yeah, I'll show you how it's done next time.
And a pair of trainers.
No way.
Trainers as well, yeah. Yeah, I don't think they'll do it again.
Nah,
But,
no
I'm not
chance.
sure they will. I'm not sure they will. But
No, I'm not
I love that story because you've been thrown into limelight, thrown into spotlight, especially playing for a club like Leeds.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive, best clubs in the world, fan base all over the world.
That's the other thing.
You're treated as a god, but people think that you're a robot. You're not human.
Your perception. Everybody's
people
perception
think
of you.
you're different. I mean, myself, born in Leeds and that, but walking around buying a pair of trainers or whatever. What are you doing?
To you, it's normal.
But it's normal, yeah, because you've come a long way. And I'm
yeah.
not saying that kids from the academy, aren't normal, but a lot of them are moleculed from your
Feel
from
bit
young
spoiled,
from young
aren't they?
age, exactly.
Yeah. They're sheltered to an extent. Yeah.
And obviously that's made you appreciate as you've gone through.
Yeah.
But what a journey it went on from there with Leeds.
Honestly, I wish somebody had pre-warned me as to how crazy it was going to get. So like, I signed in March, the 6th of March, 2006. And then I went on holiday in the summer to Kuala Lumpur, other side of the world. I landed, there was a gang of people waiting for me,
It's a bit different
screaming
to
and shouting.
Reigate, isn't it?
Oh, just a little bit, yeah. Honestly.
Kuala Reigate, Reigate, Chants. I've been down there, let me know. Innit? Where we're going on holiday, we're just going to pop to Kuala Lumpur.
Like I said, I spent my money
I
before
want
I
to go
got
to
it.
Chants. Birds like
Right,
that.
innit?
I want to go to Chants. We're up to Kuala Lumpur.
It's right.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like nobody prepared me for the extent of what I was getting myself in for.
He did that. He only owes me a few quid. Do you know what I did to me the other day? Listen, and I sat on his sofa. I didn't fall asleep at this one either. That was Patrick Bamford's.
That's a
Patrick,
running
if you're
theme, yeah.
watching, I don't like you, to be fair. It's just that when I slag you, you'd say a little bit harder. And you always, I think when he scored that goal on the day after I slagged him, he had a little look on his face. He's like,
I think that was for you.
have that fatty. That's going to go there. Have that fatty. Sat on sofa falling asleep. So that's all it's for. It's just business. It's not personal. Anyway, I'm getting back to him. What was it?
All his holiday destinations.
No, it
Kuala
won't. We've
Lumpur.
done that one.
Oh, me on the
Yeah.
sofa, spending my money.
Right.
Or you were through.
I'm sat there. Right. I'm starving. Not a sandwich. Not a cup of tea. No. Sat there. So go get me on that fridge. Right. I said I'm going to have a bet. 3-1 Leeds. Then I'll put it on for you. Puts it on. After the game, I'm saying, don't score again, you've got enough with 3. You've got enough with 3. I'm thinking, get in. Like that. I finished up with 50 quid. How do you finish up with 50 quid when you've had a tenner on and odds are fucking 14 to 1?
Let's have it
14 to 1.
We're 7 to 1.
Your mate rang
And
me and told me.
You were going to put a quid on, tight bastard, right? I had cash out screen up, Jermaine, right?
A quid? Are you having me on?
Sorry. Every 10 minutes, I had cash out screen on. He went, how am I on for? Like 20 quid. Wow, like a kebab. And 20 deck Lambert and Butler. 10 minutes ago. And we're in for now, 30 quid now, Johnny. Whoa. So get a
can we
kebab, a 20 deck, and a 8 can of Guinness there as well.
And as it went on, I mean, so listen, what I ended up with, or what I thought I was going to end up with, bottle of rum, king size kebab special, 8 cans of Guinness, 46. Didn't have enough in the end because of him. Had me over, rob his own dad. Yeah. He did. His mate rang me and says, oh, what did you get spent with your 140 quid? I went, you what? They went, your 140 quid. It's his best mate as well. I went, what do you mean? He said, 14 to 1, that I had that. I said, the best.
Different bookies, different prices.
I am.
You know, when he told me that, I thought, my own lad. I nearly crashed car and nearly come off at Leeds Bridge. Honestly, I'm going to Costco. I'm going to Costco, some stock, you know, for me. The shop.
Oh,
fucking nearly went over the bridge.
For fuck's sake.
Well, it's you, isn't it? You can't mistake. This is what it is. And I ain't got my bonus for winning world title yet.
That's another story.
And I said, do you know what?
I've only got a certain amount of time.
I did it on purpose and all. And
Well,
the new, I went, after he fell to the floor all dramatic, he thought, fucking on me, don't want a bonus. He dropped to the floor like that, yeah, crying on that fucking girl. When he got back up, I went, it's now a good time to discuss my bonus. He went, Nicky, get me on your shoulders. Full top again. I thought, I'll have to go out for a fag.
There's a time and a place, isn't it, Joshy?
Mate,
Time and a place,
like,
mate.
let me just soak this in before I get invoice through, do you know what I mean? But yeah, Jermaine, so you turned over, you started, you said you were spending your money quicker than you earned it.
Oh, mate.
What did you go from? Like, did you have a bit of a transition from going from a Fiesta to a nice BMW,
You
Mercedes,
just killed
or whatever?
it. Your first car, what was first car after you pass your test?
No, that's the difference.
After I passed my test,
Yeah.
150 quid, Vauxhall Nova.
What at your car?
It was my car.
Right. It's all right.
You don't have to have the logbook for it to be classed as yours, do you?
No.
All right, yeah, my car.
You got the keys, mate. You got the keys.
Yeah, it was a screwdriver, flathead.
He knows, doesn't it? Skeleton keep for popular.
That was a joke, guys. It was a joke.
Class.
No, it was Vauxhall Nova, G-Reg, G168VWU.
Nice.
Yeah.
Worth about £8 now, that.
Ah, no.
As a
Do
classic.
you know what? Joking aside, I searched for it, couldn't find it. I wanted to buy it back.
Do you know
But I couldn't
What
find it.
exact car?
The exact same car.
Similar.
The exact
I
car.
did
No, exact
I
car.
did say when we scored an Estelle. Fucking Devo down now. Can't get them for loan
No, I
of
think
money.
you dodged one there. Like, don't worry
15
about
grand.
it.
15
Yeah, they're
grand.
ridiculous now, aren't they? Classics, mate.
I was good to
Mine was an SRI as well.
I swapped mine for an
Leeds.
FSO Polonaise. Made in Yugoslavia it was, anyway. So what do you...
Fiat Centaur, mine.
How many of
Yeah.
Fiat Centaur, yeah.
What colour? 'Cause
black.
I-
Black
all
with
right,
racing
good.
stripes outside.
Because all I see is yellow. Whenever I hear that car, I just
Yeah,
see a
in
yellow
between
one
us,
in
in
between
between
us.
us.
That's it, that's what I bought him, Chinkichenko.
No, it was the one up from that. It,
It
was
was
the next X.
The next
750
one.
quid. I sat in that taxi for 3 weeks and I got him it for his birthday. Well, it was Joel passing his test and his birthday. I thought I'll be alright, it won't pass. Little fucker coming. Yeah, there you go, I've passed.
There you go, pass. Did you have a pass plus as well, though?
No, I didn't bother with all that. I paid about $3.5 grand.
If you had
for
to
my
pass
insurance.
though, I wouldn't have had to buy him it.
I would have had to pay about $3,000, $3.5 for my insurance.
pass plus?
Pass plus, mate, I tell you.
No, I didn't do it,
Dropped
no.
it down to about
It was an
£2.
extra 300 odd quid.
I know.
I'm working as a dental technician. I was on an apprentice wage, but I'd spend it quicker than it came in.
Oh.
I was constantly in
Preaching,
the overdraft, and by then I were earning money as a pro, but on 4-6 rounders, it was like 1,500 quid, sometimes $2,000 if you're on like on a TV show, but you know, it wasn't breaking the bank,
Few
and it
and
was
far
like,
between
oh,
those as well,
that's
yeah.
a new pair of trainers and a Stony jacket, you know. And I remember
It's the winner. It's the way forward.
I think I've told you this before. I was living in my missus's mum and dad's back bedroom, and I was maxed out in the overdraft. I was 2 weeks before payday, and obviously he scored that fantastic goal, but I put a bet on for 1-0.
Changed
And,
it. Yeah.
mate,
Changed the game.
I was
man.
able to
I'm still waiting for my
fuel-
cut. I see what you mean
fuel
now.
the car.
You know, tight, hasn't he? Tight as crap, this guy.
Fiesta
Bloody
for
hell.
another 2 weeks, but
put
good
some-
old times, mate. Good old
I
times.
put £7 at Chinkichenko, it lasted him a fortnight, didn't it?
Yeah.
Remember us going to
See-
London in that?
That's the thing, though. Back in the day, fuel prices compared to now. Flipping heck, man.
Oh yeah. Well, that, because car was only that
Are
big.
you sure you said you want?
Wait till you got to London.
Are you sure you
now,
were born in Yorkshire?
Oh, mate. I tell you.
Keeps going on about what it's costing him,
Yeah,
doesn't
this
he?
is
He'll
it,
have a few bob like, won't he?
No, joking aside, it
You have more
cost
than
me
I
a
got, I'm
flipping
telling
pretty
you.
penny to get here as well. Let's have a chat about that afterwards.
Don't look at Luke's the invoice, man.
Can you go saving him a bit of diesel out of that man next door?
That reminds me, I should have plugged the car in.
Yeah. Oh, did you have to charge you up?
We're on a meter here.
Is it not self?
We're on a
How
meter.
many have you got? Is that your only car, or have you got one or two others? Have you got a classic hidden away or not like that? Go on, what have we got
Maybe.
hidden away? Go on. Go on.
I got a Porsche 356 convertible.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
You should
And
have
then
come with that
MGB
on the mountain,
Roadster.
I don't mind going there. I know what?
MGB Roadster,
Oh, lovely.
77.
Yeah. So isn't a fuel bob, isn't it?
They're both.
Are there certain things that you've bought as a reward for yourself, or you just like your cars?
My missus bought me the MGB Roadster because she wanted me. She knows I love cars.
Oh, buy that, missus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows I love cars.
Yeah.
And, hold on, what's going on here?
No, it's all right. No, I'm going to give her the thing. I got a Black and Decker jigsaw for my birthday.
It's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Oh
see,
my God.
See how she laughs when she gets a new fucking over at Christmas. Well,
Oh, fucking hell.
I think
Oh,
I can
mate.
see my future in this. I'm going to ask him something else, but I ain't
So
got the glasses.
she bought me that car. She knows I'm into cars. She bought it for me to do up. So
Yeah.
I'm in the process of redoing it, doing it up and
Are you doing it yourself?
making it. Yeah.
Restoration, yeah.
I'm quite handy.
Oh, no, I never said you want. I was just... He's
No,
looking
but
at me
that
like
look
it's-
tells me something completely different, man.
No, well,
You're handy.
I wouldn't have had you down for getting yourself mucky and that. 'cause
See what I mean?
footballers are not-
See, there you go again with the stereotype.
No, I
Taking a
wouldn't.
piss out of my life.
That's a good piece out of his life. Listen,
Halfway through lockdown, he sent me a picture of his garden where to cut. Yeah,
See?
mowed, bro.
See?
Sit on my wood, bro.
well, it's like
Unbelievable,
it's
mate.
like Eddie Hearn, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Fighting in his backyard of 15 acres. I said, I'm glad I'm not fucking getting
I built a beach down there as well.
Have you got one of them laid on lawnmowers? Because I have always fancied one.
No,
of them.
listen to this. So I had one and they're flipping brilliant. Joking aside, absolutely amazing. I sold it. Reason I sold it, because I'm lazy. With things like that, I'm lazy. I don't want to spend an hour out in the garden mowing the lawn. It starts pissing down with rain. I don't want to get wet. And then go in the house and then before I've had a chance to jump in the shower, dry off, she's asking me to do something else. So I sold it. I part exchanged it and I bought a robot. It's like about this big, lawnmower robot.
I'll be up for half, mate.
Press one button, you leave the flipping thing.
You never.
It mows the lawn. It's mowing the lawn now.
Well, you know, so
It's freaking brilliant, mate.
you can do it
Honestly.
before. You can have a look, see
How
if it's
big is it?
crafted.
The robot's about
And you don't have to
the
pay.
robot's about so big, and it takes itself back to its charging point when it gets low, and then once it's ready to charge, once it's fully charged, it takes itself out and starts mowing again. It goes around all the objects.
And how short have we got? Like,
That does it everything.
Listen,
for you.
you can have it like this, or you can have it like this. The garden looks like a bowling green. Honestly, amazing, amazing.
I thought you were going to say, you know what, I've got
He'll
like
go get one.
a company in and, you know, looking after, thank you for greens.
I thought about it, but the problem with that is it's maintenance.
Have you
There's an
got-
overhead. There's a constant cost.
Yeah. Have you got a cleaner?
That's a long story.
Okay, no, so's he's. You don't want to know about it. You know what he's done?
Oz ended
He
up
knows
leaving
about
us.
that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows all about that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You're telling him I was dead. so cleaner. Well, he didn't tell her I was dead, but he never pointed out that I wasn't dead.
I've got
Wow.
cleaner. We got cleaner in, and I've told this story many times. But
Yeah, no bother.
All right, there, photographer. After the Frampton fight, you know, a little moment where me and him, we're all right, like, but we never really give it all that.
Yeah.
And there's a moment picture. He's like, he's got his little hat on,
Mad
I'm
proud.
like that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he's put in a frame.
That's cute.
And you know, it's just one of the things where I don't know what to do with that. My dad's not dead. I'll just put it on the table.
It's like an RIP, you know, remember your dad?
But we've also put it on the table alongside a bunch of flowers. And then on the
wow.
following Monday, come downstairs, black eyes and all that. Cleaner's like, oh, well done. And she's like that.
I'll tell you what they did.
She's cleaning around the picture. She's going,
They bought a table like you get in a church.
you don't like, yeah.
Oh no.
Nice.
They got a little table like you get in a church. She's put the photo on it. Tell them the truth. Bunch of flowers spraying up behind it. And fucking candelabras.
Candelabra.
And
So
with
it makes it look like it's
and
a bit of a
candles
shrine,
lit.
doesn't it?
And candles
Yeah.
lit. He lit the candles. So cleaner come in. She's like that. Sees him and Tasha come in and she went, oh, I'm sorry, put it down. He never told her I wasn't dead. R.I.P.
Just
Johnny.
playing on it.
Tells her R.I.P. Johnny.
In black marker.
Yeah.
Just in black marker as well. No flowers, nothing.
Yeah,
Just
R.I.P. Johnny.
Yeah.
the Poor girl.
Fucking
I
hell.
can't believe you not put her straight.
No, he came back, didn't he? Resurrected.
Yeah.
She would in one day and he just walked through the door. You should have seen her face when he
Oh, I
walked
can
in.
imagine, just drained. Just
Yeah,
like,
not dead. Yeah.
Sure,
what's she
like
do?
that.
Run up and give you a hug.
Well, I'd said,
Oh my God, is
she
she?
said that she was
I'm
kind
so
of
glad.
a little bit, she was kind of a bit shocked to see me, so I says, have you got any cigs on you, love? So she had it all up outside. Anyway, listen, can we get back to him now? Instead of taking piss
Mate,
out
I'm
of me.
telling you.
He's come all the way from Liverpool as well.
I was going to say, Jermaine, when you was, I know like, a bit of the stories, it's like many out there about you playing under Simon, and you played with him in many clubs, but
I think I like him.
yeah, but with Wise and Poyet, who were the bigger influence on the players?
I
in
didn't
the
like
dressing
them,
room?
so.
Out of
Out
all of the
Dennis
managers,
Wise, no,
or Wise and
out
Gus?
of them two, Dennis Wise and Gus Poyet.
For me, they were both brilliant. And I know, don't get me wrong, I know Wisey rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way, but he really had a soft spot for me. So I haven't got a bad word to say about him. I understand why. Don't get me wrong, I understand why a lot of people don't really like him for what he did, etc., etc. But for me, he was brilliant. He was brilliant because he obviously played in an amazing Chelsea side. Same with Gus, with some amazing strikers. So he was just feeding all of the information he'd seen firsthand from these guys to me, and to have it coming from him as well, as technically as a player that he was amazing. And I was at the Chelsea Academy as well when he was there. He was one of those players. So it was weird in a kind of bizarre way. I sort of looked up to him for more than just a manager, from a manager's perspective.
Kind of enhanced you as a player and your
Yeah.
player mentality.
Yeah.
I think what it was with him, so it's not that people disliked him. I think what it felt a little bit like a Chelsea takeover, didn't it? With
Ken at the top,
Ken,
and then
them
Dennis
two,
and
then a
Gus.
few,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Obviously with the history, etc.
Yeah.
as well. Yeah,
Then you
I
start
completely
getting
get
likes
it.
of Jody Morrison stuff coming, don't you? And
Yeah, I think
people
at
it
times
looks like Chelsea.
he tried to win a few people over with the
Yeah.
there were 15 points time, wasn't it? And he seemed to
Yeah,
That was
but that's what I mean.
stand up for Leeds a little bit, like, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
But that's the thing. Like, if you take away the Chelsea
People
aspect of
overlook
it,
that, don't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
the work that he actually did, he was fighting a losing battle right from the beginning, right from the get-go. You know,
Fantastic under circumstances.
exactly.
Yeah.
So again, I've got the utmost respect for both of them.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest influence on the players, as a double team, I don't think you can pick
Can't
one or
split
the
them,
other.
no.
Mm-mm.
Technically, Gus Poyet, very, very good, wasn't he? You know
They
what
were
I mean?
both
They're
joining
both
in
as-
with us while we're
yeah,
training,
were they?
and they genuinely they could have both been a part of the team,
Yeah. Well,
and would have stood out as well,
yeah. Well,
especially with me up front.
this is the thing now. This is the thing now. Leeds now, your age, you've still got a few games in you. If
I like to
were-
think so.
If I were, seriously, if I were their man there, and Zaya, and other fella, Victor,
Yeah, Victor.
and Angus
Walter.
Kinnear.
Yeah.
It's not a secret that we're kind of struggling up front, but we've only got one man up there.
Well, struggling
Really?
for goals.
Struggling for goals.
I love Pat Bamford. I love Patrick.
I do.
The way
No, Pat.
the thing is with Pat, the way he plays, if he's not playing, we do not play the same type of football.
No.
We will not create the same opportunities that we do when he's not.
And if
in the
he's
team.
not given the opportunities,
Exactly. All I would say is when he is playing, all he needs to do a little bit more is be a little bit more selfish in terms of where he goes, his movement,
Yeah.
his positioning. For me as a striker, like as I mentioned, you lot know what I was like as a kid. You know that.
Yeah.
For me, you've got to have that laser focus. I score goals. The reason I score goals is because I don't only make those unselfish runs, which I don't really want to make.
Yeah.
I'm direct. I go to goal. I wait in the positions where I know the ball's going to drop. And if it does drop there, I'm going to 100% put it in the back of the net.
you've got half an hour in you, haven't you?
I think that's it with Pat sometimes. You see him coming all the way back to halfway line. And
Yeah.
he's playing a midfield
But then
goal
that's not-
when he should be at the
He
top
should be
waiting
at
for the
exactly.
you
But
know,
then
counter.
But then that's the way the boss wants to play. Bielsa's style of football, his type of football, is everybody get back behind the ball. It's the hardest working Leeds team I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like from
they
top to
graft,
bottom,
don't they? They do
every
graft.
single one of them.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why he's so successful. But there's also a reason why I think last season we fell off was because everybody blew up. You know, you can only maintain that hard work to a certain point, and then fatigue naturally is going to kick in.
You need that depth, don't you?
Yeah,
And we don't really have that, and that's what I'm saying. You've got half an hour in you. Sling him on at side of Pat there. Sling him on side of Pat. You know
I like his
Tell you what.
commentary. I like the commentary alongside.
He doesn't fancy me as a player anymore.
No,
That's
no,
all
no,
it is.
no,
That's a
listen,
polite way of
no.
saying, Bex,
It's like-
I'll
no,
tell
it's
you
like
what, mate, just call it a day,
Tyson's
pal.
had his day. Ben's had his day. They talked about
I
coming
agree.
back.
So he's drinking from Liverpool tonight, you know. Get up and fucking leave it, kid.
Unbelievable.
That's what he's
I'm off,
doing.
lads.
That's what he's doing. Leave it there, kid. You know, like you just stick with commentary. No, I think half an hour.
Half an hour, super sub.
Half an hour. Get him on.
I'll
Get him on.
say 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me 10 minutes. I'll make shit happen.
Listen,
yeah.
everyone has a bit of luck. Like, I mean, you had that luck where.
I had a lot of luck.
Bit of luck.
But
That
a
Everton
lot of
goal
people
against
say-
Chelsea. Was that luck or skill?
Hold on, which one? There's been a few. Again, you have to create. You create your own luck every now and then. So you know, you could be the best football player in the world technically,
you would
but then
on
you're
that
going to
one,
hit one that you scuff, but you catch it so clean and it flies into the top corner as a bullet.
Yeah.
I had that moment. You know, I was playing for Everton against Chelsea, picked the ball up in my own penalty box. Frank Lampard tried to slide tackle me, lifted it over him. See you in a bit. And then cut across the field, was focusing more on who's in front of me. I think it was John Terry and Ivanovic or somebody along those lines. Took my eye off the ball for a split second, lost track of it, brought it back in line with me. Somebody put their foot in front of me, connected with me, ball went up in the air. As soon as it went up in the air, I thought, I'm off here. Yeah. Nobody's catching me. Brought it down on my knee, took a big touch out. There's a massive space between me and whoever it was. You know, they were trying to catch me. Not many people can. Took another touch. Peter Cech came out. Just hit him with a little dink, did I? Chipped it over him, right into the far corner.
There's some names there, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
some
did I
names there,
name
isn't
drop? I hate it when that happens.
there? Yeah, he tends to do that a bit as well, you know what I mean, with opponents. But
No, but it's do you know what? Because like I come from a council estate. So for me to be able to play against these people that I grew up watching on TV, these are household names, you know, and for me to be able to firstly rub shoulders with and secondly leave them in my dust, mate. You know, that's a proud moment for me. And
of course it is, yeah.
it's not from a position of ego, it's from a position of I'm just proud. I'm just so happy and you know, to have been able to been put in that position. So every now and then you need a little bit of luck along your way on your journey, and you have to be able to really take those moments because they don't come along very often. But when they do, you know,
Well, so let me say you've gone from the we talked about earlier, playing in front of absolutely nobody to 30-odd thousand. You've been in Merseyside derbies. I think you've got to ask. You've got a question about Chant, haven't you? I mean, once you're on pitch, there'll be times when all players are overside at pitch.
Yeah.
You know,
bear in mind, there could be kids watching.
you'll be.
Oh, now you tell me.
You'll be hearing things.
No,
you know, coming from the stands and stuff.
Yeah.
You were going to ask us a question about Chant, weren't you?
That's amusing, isn't it? It must be amusing. I mean, I've got one or two of my own, but you know what I mean?
Does anybody else know those ones?
Leeds are scum, Leeds are vile. That's first bit, you can work this out.
What's the funniest chant that you've heard, Jermaine, whilst being on
One
the
that
pitch?
makes you giggle.
Not
One
just
that makes
from
you
Leeds,
giggle.
any club.
Not
that you
particularly
play
about
for.
yourself, could be anybody else.
Or one where you've been there and you've just heard it before. Because obviously there's been times when you've been at Ellen Road and when you weren't playing for Leeds and you've given cheeky Leeds salute to fans and that.
Me? Have I done that really? I think once or twice. Funniest one.
One that makes you
It's
smile.
about Enoch.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I don't
you
think
know
I can say
what?
anymore.
You know what? What a geezer. What a guy.
Yeah.
What a
Lovely guy.
Loved him.
Lovely guy.
Loved him.
Yeah. I still speak to him now. He's out in Miami, living the life, mate.
He's what, out in
He lives in
Miami?
Miami, yeah.
Yeah, that's with his payoff money. Off you go, son. There you go, off you go. Come on, then, get on.
Yeah, that's got to be it for me, man.
It's got to be. I mean, players must know that when they sign for Leeds, that listen, if I'm shy, I'm still going to get a load of dough. Yeah. So I'll just go there, 3 months. Off you go, we can't. You go on, son. Pocket full of money. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No, it's not bad though, is it? I've got a little quick fire few questions here for you.
Oh,
Come
right. Yeah, no, I'm ready for
on.
it.
Come on. Are you sure?
Yeah, you got the answers on the back or what?
No, I thought.
Two stains on up there.
Listen, quick fire one.
Right.
Before that, do you see yourself moving into management?
No,
You don't want to?
no,
No.
no.
Right, that's all
Well,
right.
just quickly, why?
He's fucking
Because-
about with cars, isn't he? That's what it is.
Yeah. Every time I
Well,
fix
no,
one, my
same.
missus buys another one. Yeah, I fix that.
Well, you're gonna put, like you see the game, you read the game, well, you know that because you punditry on Sky, you punditry on LUTV. You know that you the
Yeah.
game inside out. You just don't want to
It's
tell
not-
that over to.
It's not that. It's not that.
I can see him as a
If I could
full-time
be a-
pundit.
If I could be a director of football or something along those sort of lines,
Yeah.
I would love to do that side of things a lot more than being a manager or a coach. For me, it's too unpredictable. So you can have a flying start in the season, win 6, 7, 8 games in a row, and then you go through a patch where you don't win a game in 4, 5, 6.
Off you go, kid. And then you get that dreaded statement.
But then you've got that
We've got,
reputation.
we've got every faith in us manager. You know,
Yeah.
job's fucked in morning, don't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like
But
nobody
standing
remembers.
back manager.
Nobody remembers the 7 games where you absolutely dominated the game. You bullied teams off the park. You scored 20 goals in those 6, 7 games. They remember the 4, 5 you lost in a row,
Yeah.
and that's what you're remembered for.
Yeah.
And that's not. I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know, I want longevity, but I also want to know that what I'm doing is making a real, genuine difference,
Yeah.
not just to the 25, 30 players that I'm working with, but
Yeah.
to the academies and to the dinner ladies, the security guards, the flipping literally any and everybody that's to
Yeah.
do with the club, not just those guys. Because I feel like you can make more of an influence. You have more of an influence. You can make more of a positive change in the direction of the club from up there than you can from there.
And I think, as we say, a role model there as well for, as you said, come from council estate.
Yeah,
1 minute you're playing with your pals at street and bit
Playing
of Sunday
Kirby.
football,
Yeah, yeah.
bit of Kirby.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And next minute you're scoring that goal against Man United. Steve.
Go on, get your quick fire question.
Quick fire question, here we go. Favourite meal?
Favourite meal? Fried jackfruit, vegan curry. My missus makes. Unbelievable.
Well, nice.
Getting the brownie points.
Favourite tipple?
100%. No
You've
wrong.
already let that go before camera started. Favourite tipple?
Oh, I don't drink.
No? There we go. Water. Arrogant spring water. He likes.
Oh, wow. I just promoted them by accident. Yeah.
There are other waters
I love water,
available,
yeah.
but I
Love
like
water.
this one.
Love
yeah.
water.
Favourite film?
You're going to have to give me a genre. Ah, threw you off there, didn't I?
Don't be talking like you're off council estate. Keep it real. You're in Leeds now. No, Paris Saint-Germain. Come on.
Do you know what I say? I seen Training Day the other day with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
That's in the front of my mind. That one. For now.
Favourite actors. One of my favourites.
Yeah.
Pastime away from football.
Gardening. No, I'm messing with you.
Play it. Watching me robot do gardening.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
While
I,
sipping me arrogant spring water.
Do you know what? I love playing basketball. I love playing NFL.
Anything at all,
American
sport.
football, just sport. Tennis.
Sport.
Me and the missus are quite big into tennis at the moment.
Holiday destination. I was going to say Reigate, Margate. Holiday destination.
Skegness.
Mate. Ah, nothing wrong with that, mate. A little bit of Cornwall in there as well.
What's up with mine as well? Fair at Skeg. Skegness. Fighting in lumps when I went.
That doesn't surprise me much.
Oh, the what? Nottingham Miners, Barnsley Miners. Oh, shocking.
Favourite holiday destination? Mate.
You've been all over, haven't you? Spoiled for
Yeah.
shows. Go on, I'll let you off then.
A beach.
Somewhere warm.
Kuala
Yeah,
Lumpur.
exactly.
Music. Or band.
Talk sport.
Talk sport. That's it.
That's what I listen to, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about
Talk
knowledge. I
sport.
get knowledge
Yeah.
from
That's,
different sports
that's like
radios.
my LBC, my politics and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Laugh if you will. Laugh if you want. But this is what makes me how I am, we say.
God.
Female celebrity. You can whisper if you want, if wife's going to watch this.
Love this guy, mate.
Am I female?
Yeah, you are now.
Actually, Actually, when he was struggling with his identity,
Yeah.
Nah.
Sex change at 12.
yeah, Ladyboys of Bangkok, do all right, innit? No, it's not racist, that's not racist.
No, it's not.
Oh, mate, I'm trying to be serious, yeah? I was messing around for a second. I'm trying to be serious.
I've taken part.
Favourite female
I've taken
celebrity?
part.
Yours are you mine, shall I tell you mine? I mean, probably,
Yours would be Sharon Stone or something, wouldn't it?
no.
One movie, that's it. Changed it.
tell you
Changed
what,
your life,
Steve,
didn't it? Basic Instinct, you were a
The
fan.
box series were crap, but she's tidy, that Jodie Cromer, you know, Russian bird. Well, she's not really Russian, she just plays a Russian. Killing Eve,
Killing Eve.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you the other one.
That's my
Cooking bird. No,
I know her old man.
Yeah,
It's the one of the physios at Everton.
yeah.
Jimmy.
Fire her up.
Oh, come on.
Listen, no,
Jimmy's
get
the top
me
lad
for-
as
I'd
well.
like to meet
You're killing
her.
me, yeah.
No, meet her, that makes for a signature.
Hey, give it Bob.
Don't say it.
Why? Is that too extreme?
She's only
for-
young.
Is that too
She's
extreme for
only
Bob?
young, well, he's like Jimmy Savile. Listen,
I don't think he's going to watch it.
gosh,
He's
she'll
got
watch
a
it.
trademark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you about this off camera. Right, my other one.
It would be
Nigella Lawson, man.
No, Margaret. What's her name from Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah.
Oh, aye. Oh.
Tell you what.
Apart from my wife, of course.
Oh yeah, the wife. Yeah. The wife.
That's right.
To be fair, the wife is.
Car's sold when he gets home, innit? You know?
She'll come for me. My missus had a #1 song in the European charts.
Who did?
My missus with the guy from Fats and Smalls.
Did she?
Yeah. She used to be a TV presenter, MTV, MTV, CITV, Dig It. Yeah.
Yeah. We won't do no names, because obviously, you know what I mean?
I'm not going to tell you.
No, I won't ask you. I said, don't.
I'm not going to tell you
No,
anything about my missus, mate.
If you on Google, mate.
You know what?
Yeah.
He's just got a
Checks his
smartphone and that's
wife.
it. Yeah,
It's
that
just
is
in
it.
case I get my teeth done. She sees me at Love Island. That's what it is, isn't it?
Oh, Big Brother.
Proper geezer.
Rolling in a few of them birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind all that.
What
Getting
term,
themselves all squat on that. I'm not bothered cameras.
Come on,
Stay
get back to the
Same
questions.
job. I've lost them now.
Go on.
Worst person you've shared a room with while you've been on tour or playing football?
Oh my word! Wow. Snods, Robert Snodgrass. He's a freaking nightmare. Because
Scott's get tight as well, won't he?
he's just a prankster.
No, is
He
it?
doesn't let you sleep.
I'll just torment you.
He doesn't let you sleep.
We know somebody else like that.
But I don't know what's worse, having him as a roommate where he's just constantly on you, or as in a different room. Because what he'll do, fill a bucket of water up, and then he'll lean it against the door, knock on the door, and then just stand there. You open the door, obviously, check the pie hole. You open the door, bucket of water, all over your socks, all over the carpet.
That's a good one, that.
And then you have to foot the bill.
And then you'll get me.
Yeah, you have to foot the bill for the dry cleaning the carpet. So that's just one of many examples.
But if you think that, do you know what they did to
One
me?
that we could say on there.
Well, that's quite same, that really.
Yeah.
Do you know what they did to me in Berlin when we went to Berlin to fight? There's a big 5-star hotel, all fucking red carpets, and a fella stood there, I'll do it right for you. I goes to walk in, no, yours is over there. They booked me in a fucking youth hostel
Oh, no.
with a glass front. And I had to walk in there with my bag. A youth hostel. And it was full of young lads all mincing about in underpants, ladies' boots, makeup.
Fitted right in.
I was stood there like, honestly, I was stood there like
That's
Gary
top
Glitter with my bag. And all them lot on the window, kissing the sand. Honestly.
I had to get him as far away as possible because when I used to share a room with him, Jermaine, like we
I
used to
love
go
that.
up
They're in
and-
5-star.
we used to go up and down country, right, as amateurs. Yeah, I used to be with me, like your dad used to be with you. And he used to say to me, right, you've got to fight tomorrow. You go get your head down, yeah? Go get your head down. And I'll wait in bar for a bit. And by the time I come to bed, you'll already be asleep. You need to get your rest before tomorrow. So I'll be in bed. But I don't know about you, before big games or whatever, but I used to get right nervous amateur. Couldn't never sleep. Never sleep.
Because you're
So I'd be
playing
like,
it. You're playing it in your mind, how it's going to go.
Heart's always going,
Yeah,
sweaty,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'd hear him come in, about 1:30 or whatever, still not slept, but I'd be like there acting like I am. He'd come in, bear in mind, if I had it my own way, I'd have had my own room, but he'd come in, strides off, move it to the toilet, leave the toilet door over, sit there, I'd stay. farting away, then he'd be burping and that. Then within a couple of minutes, he'd snore. But he's got one of them where he just goes and he starts off. And he gets louder. And the next minute, he'd start choking. And he'd start again. I'd be thinking, you wanker.
I'm not going to sleep tonight.
I'm fighting tomorrow. And the next morning, be like, I slept like a baby. I'm usually planned like that, fucking eye bags. Yeah, cracking down. I'm fighting today.
So
that's what you were working for. You were working for your own rum.
Strength, that's what it is.
Anyway, what I want to know, I think we had Maeta back as well.
Right.
If you're watching, pal, I'm ready for you. Let's see what you've got today. But you'll be pleased to know I got my test results from the hospital, and it's not a big belly, it's my back that's too far in.
We'll move on because we're running out of time. And we've just got 2 more things to do.
I like that one.
I've done me now.
Yeah, I know you fucking hell. These are some quick fires from the fans, Jermaine. We had to ask fans to message Jermaine. Who was the toughest in the 2009-2010 squad, and any of them could cut it in a boxing ring? And that's from El Loco, Leeds.
What, Elsa?
No.
He's not having any of my lads. He's already done me.
That's the account name.
Do you know what? We had a few bad boys in our squad.
Yeah.
A few. Tres Candole, Richard Naylor.
Fucking Tres Candole.
Yeah.
Cartwheel, come
Richard
on.
Naylor. Do you know what? So I tried to do that.
Yeah.
I tried to do the celebration in training, and he was like, "Listen, it's easy. All you have to do is this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I could do that." Shit! Oh, mate, I ruined myself. That was it. Ruined myself.
But it would have been. How did you know that it would have been a bit of a scrapper? Would it be fiery or what? What would give that impression that it could have a do?
Just trust me.
Right. Say no more.
Experience.
Yeah.
So there'll be.
Trez, it with him.
Yeah. Go on, Trez, I got your back, mate. Don't worry. You can have him. Look at the size of his tiny. No.
Yeah.
So I'd say Trez, Richard Naylor, Paddy Kaznorbo.
Yeah, Paddy.
1 or 2
Paddy,
might have said me.
Yeah, Paddy.
Yeah.
Yourself.
So we had a few, man.
Yeah, we had a few.
Saying that punch bag earlier. This one's from Eric Windross at Windy Rhino. The promotion party. Who was last man standing and who was first put in a taxi and taken home? So when we got promoted,
Husey.
Bristol Rovers.
First one to go to bed.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah.
Unexpected that from Husey. Husey dog.
The 10 dog, mate.
Yeah.
He's early to bed, early to rise.
Right.
Yeah, good lad.
Nightmare roommate.
Proper professional.
Right.
Yeah, proper pro.
Yeah,
Like literally everything right. Done
Not
everything
But-
right.
let's fuck on
not
piss.
like you or him.
I said
Not
it.
like you.
I said it, Husey.
Possibly me.
Yeah.
Possibly me, last one to bed, yeah.
Good lad.
Yeah.
I bet I'm in Liverpool next week. Maybe all got smashed.
Hit me up.
And this one from AS7. Out of any Leeds player, out of any player at Leeds that you played with, who would excel the most under Bielsa?
Wow. Me.
Him.
Yeah.
Would you like to
Me.
play under his style of play?
No,
I think he'd have
but
to
I
go
would
at
have
you like, hey,
Yeah,
lazy
massively.
bastard, get back.
all the time.
Yeah.
But then I would have repaid him with goals galore.
Yeah, it don't matter because you won't be able to understand him anyway, would you?
Well, I tried to have a
shouting.
meeting with him. It was myself, Luciano Becchio, and Bielsa in his office. And we walked in pre-COVID, and he went, Beckford, nice to meet you. I said, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan. And he went, 1 minute. 1 minute. To Luciano. And I'm like, what happened there? Luciano went, he doesn't speak English. He just said hello and how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
Language barrier, we'd have had an issue, but, look.
I'll just tell him now, listen, anybody down there, he's got half an hour in him. 5 games, trust me, 5 games. Get him done.
It's not going to cost you much.
It's not going to cost you no. It's just
No. Much. Not going to cost you much.
Talk about money later. Get him, he's there, he's waiting. Prolific goal scorer, he's proven. Come on, what's up here?
Still strong core.
It's a strong
underneath
car.
this.
As we've seen earlier, but yeah, before we got into the punch bag challenge, what you did before the cameras got rolling, just we did a review on the last one, so I thought we've got to follow suit.
Review on what?
But it went down pretty well. This time, it's somewhat just for myself. Now, Johnny's a bit of a fashionable guy, you see from his sneakers there and his bottoms, you know. Jermaine, you're a bit of a fashionable guy, so
These lights don't work, Johnny.
I thought I'd bring some up from home. It's now I seen this on Love Island a few seasons ago, and I just mentioned it. I mentioned it to Mrs. I mentioned it to Mrs. and I realised it's quite expensive. And next minute, she went, "Yeah, Josh, got you a little something there. I mean, I don't know what you were after in return, but I got myself call her name, dressing gown, all silk and that." Hold on, Jermaine. Hold on. Hey,
Lady buys a Bangkok. That's all.
get off it, it's silk this.
Fucking.
Right, you can appreciate a bit of fashion.
Fucking, you
Feel
won't wear
that?
that.
Feel that?
I don't know if I want to,
Feel it.
man.
Feel the silk.
Fucking.
That's beautiful, that, innit? What do you think? Thoughts?
How much were that? Fucking. How much were that?
Has she still got a receipt?
It would not far away from the 4 figures.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I guarantee they don't do refunds. Somebody's actually bought
I'm
that.
choking to death. It's missing by it.
Hey, I've got the shorts to go with it.
All right, guys, I'm out.
4 figures.
I've seen enough.
4 figures. 4 figures and I'm scratching for a living at
Oh
minute.
my God.
Just look at that. You know what? I ain't being funny,
When
but
postman comes round here and I've got to sign for something,
You
I don't
could have
like. I'm like a fucking don, I'm telling you.
I'm there, teeth falling out, and he's spending 4 figures on that.
You know me with Mrs.
You could have done a proper haircut for that. I'm not fucking hell, Johnny.
I can
No,
guarantee.
like it.
listen, come on as your dad.
Do you not want one for your birthday? Birthday's coming up.
Oh, I fucking love one. I can't think of
I
what.
can guarantee you, the girls in the shop or the boys in the shop that were selling that, they were having a competition about who could sell that. Because this, I guarantee you, nobody's paid any interest in that in
Do you
years.
not like it, Jermaine?
I'll
I
tell
thought
you what
might
I've
like
got.
this.
Joshy, mate.
You know what? You know what's in my head now, Jimmy?
Come on, man.
You can't see me there on the sofa like that. Fucking after
I
the
can.
night.
Hey, next
Cup
ring
of
walk,
tea.
I want to see you in that.
Something like this. Something similar.
I can
Oh,
sat
mate.
there with that on, shorts on, muscle gun. Okay, now I've got it's been surgically removed attachment. I can as it goes.
Oh my God. I'll tell you what, let me see those shorts again. I think the shorts might get a pass by themselves
Showing me up, innit?
in
As
Ibiza.
you can imagine, round.
It's showing me up.
Nah, I don't know, man.
Mate, listen.
Possibly, the
Sat on
shorts,
sofa, I mean,
possibly.
buttons popped on already. I don't know if that's happened. Quality's
neither
not
do I.
fantastic, but yeah, you know, strapping around the house like this.
The shorts, possibly. At a stretch, though, I don't know, man.
Dodgy stain on them, right?
You look, you look ridiculous.
Do you
Take
think
it
so?
off. You're showing us
No,
up.
no, I'm going to keep it
Yeah.
on for the rest of the show.
You're showing us up.
Well, we've gone well over our limit.
Right, listen, can we just say before we go,
Look, we need to talk about his score.
aren't we done yet?
No, because he did the punch challenge. Now we've got a
Right,
little
then.
challenge, haven't we?
Don't quit after this because we have got a personal message Sunday.
They're all guests are going to be doing. It was going to be the speedball, but we've moved on to the punch bag.
Are you joking? I've
15
been practicing, I bought one. Amazon.
15 seconds, as many punches as you can. Me and Johnny had a go. This is Josh Warrington, and this is our podcast punch bag challenge. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Stop! Hang on. Did you get? I got 56.
How many?
56.
On the left.
Fucking hell, mate. Is that just on left?
Yeah.
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 Oh, I haven't started counting them well. Johnny Kebab, trainer of IBF World Champion Josh Warrington, allegedly his father.
3, 2, 1, and time. Go on, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny. I'm going dizzy. Fucking it's going on a long time, this.
Stop! I got 36.
I got 36. Yeah.
72 is better than my last one.
I would at 112, but I think the counting wasn't as accurate. Johnny were on 72.
He was bragging earlier about that, by the way. 112, he was like, yeah, Bex, listen, 112, mate. I don't know if you got it in you.
Had a go.
Hi, my name's Jermaine Beckford. I'm about to attempt to beat Josh's 112 punch bag challenge.
Right.
Wish me luck.
Ready, timer?
Yep.
On 3, 2, 1, time! I can reveal that Jermaine did in 15 seconds, 144 punches
Get
in
out of
15
here.
seconds.
And he'll be making
Look
his
at that.
professional debut at Leeds Arena as soon as we're allowed.
So he's done me.
He's done it.
Yes.
It's only done world champion. Whoa.
So which
There
one
we
do I
go.
take home?
Just pick out off the top shelf.
Prize fighter's coming up.
Yeah, give
Prize
him that
fighter's
one.
coming up.
Give me
Oh,
that one.
mate.
Get it on. Get it on.
Yeah, and we're just gonna finish by
Amazing.
saying a friend of the show, a friend of us as well.
Very good friend.
sponsor,
Well, he's a good friend of ours, yeah.
good friend of the family. Recently been diagnosed with cancer again. So we're giving a shout out to ALFIE Madden, hell of a character, so strong. Got those who know ALFIE know he likes a joke or two.
Proper character.
Real bread and butter, real man's man. And you know he's going through a hell of a fight himself at this moment in time. So ALFIE, from all of us here and from Jermaine as well, you stay strong, mate.
Well,
And,
send us best. You've done it once, Alfie. Let's do it again, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
We're all with you, mate.
Keep
We're
smiling,
all with you.
keep cracking them jokes, mate. And we're all thinking about you, pal.
No, jokes are terrible, Alfie, as it goes.
But yeah, listen, you're definitely going to see Leeds get promoted this season, mate. All going to be celebrating, and we'll see you again soon, pal.
See you soon, pal.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah.
Good luck, man.
But Jermaine, it's been a pleasure.
Lads,
We're
thank
talking
you.
fucking glass eye to sleep.
100%.
You know, but,
Whatever segment we've done now.
we've enjoyed it, and,
Oh, fuck.
and yeah.
Listen, I just wanted to say thank you very much for having me on. It's been great fun.
Yeah,
We've had a
good
laugh.
time, mate, yeah.
And genuinely though, which one's...
We've had a laugh at you. You've had a laugh
We'll do
at
paper, scissors for that, but yeah.
You've had a laugh
It's
at
all
your big world champion up punch back.
Hey, listen, I'll take
We'll
that.
leave that there.
I'll take that.
Wait until we go play Wembley out there. Yeah.
Exactly,
Oh, can't
exactly.
Right, cheers guys, thanks for
Guys,
watching.
thank you
Remember
very much.
to like and subscribe, and we'll be back very soon with another guest and another pod. Cheers.
It's beaten, Johnny.
Yeah, 72, 140, 144. 144! Yeah!